Hi, I'm Coach John, and today I'm going to share a leadership secret for better decisions that lead to higher performance, and higher performance simply means better results. So last weekend, I'm sitting outside in a chair and I'm freezing my fanny off. My eyes are watering, my hands are stiff, my nose, my ears, they're both stinging because it's so darn cold. And my wife, she's sitting by my side and her hands are wrapped around my arm and she's leaning in against me for body warmth because every 10 or 15 seconds she shivers uncontrollably. I can just feel it. It's coming right through. So the actual temperature is probably 60 degrees, but the wind, still blowing in from the recent storms off the ocean, makes it feel like it's 40 degrees. Now, neither of us are dressed to be comfortable in 40-degree weather. And there are 75 or so other people that are sharing my freezing experience. Frankly, I'm a cold wimp. I admit it. I'm a fair weather fan. 72 and sunny is my favorite temperature, and it's without wind. So why, you might ask, am I subjecting both of us to this weather torture? Well, it's Saturday, March 9th, and the wedding invitation for my oldest son's wedding says the wedding is outdoors at 5 p.m. in Huntington Beach. And because I'm the father of the groom, I sit in the front row, which means there's absolutely no windbreak. There's nothing to hide behind. And here's the thing, it doesn't matter how cold it is. I wouldn't miss this event for the world. My son is getting married. My priorities and the values of 75 or so more family members and friends, they will not allow us, me, anyone to miss this event just because we're cold. God, country, and family. Those are my top three priorities. And these are the three things that I value the most, and in that order. And when it comes to family, love is at the top of my list. I do whatever it takes to make sure my family knows that I love them. Now, I might grouse and complain and laugh about it being the coldest wedding ever, but I would never miss it. Love is doing the right thing. Now, values drive decisions. Values drive action. And the leadership secret for higher performance and better results is being absolutely clear on your top values. Values show up in the cold and they do whatever it takes to accomplish the goal or the vision or the strategy. Values advance the vision, and that's why this was a breakthrough in last month's one-day business blueprint. Each of us lives by certain values. Values provide the cornerstone of conventions and laws in different cultures and societies, and at a personal level, they furnish the guidelines for our determination of what is right or wrong or good or bad. They are essential in determining the choices and the decisions that we make, and they form the foundation of our personal and professional lives and relationships. The One-Day Business Blueprint Intensive follows the Rockefeller Habits one-page business plan. And that's a terrific format for creating a simple strategic plan for your business. And box number 2 is labeled values, and that's because after purpose, values are the second foundational component that supports you and your team's decision-making and performance habits. When you clarify your top values, you will experience increasing inner peace and a closer connection with self and others. You'll also be taking a giant step in leadership. This was a key breakthrough for some in the One-Day Business Plan Intensive that we held last month. It's your values that support the decisions that make you and your team run through walls, show up in the cold, and create solutions for you and your customers. Your values willingly push you into new territory and new levels of performance. Now, your decisions, they're not always going to be right. They're not always going to give you the results that you want. The future's unknown, and there are no guarantees that you will always make the right decision. But you can always make decisions for the right reasons, and your values are the guides that govern the right reasons. In the One-Day Business Plan Intensive, attendees are given a list of 150 values. Now, that's not a complete list. There's a lot more, but it's a good comprehensive list. And then they're directed to identify their top five personal values. It's not an easy exercise, but it delivers terrific results. Because we're going to use values to support our decision-making process, we want to make sure that we keep the process simple. And that's the reason for the limit of 5. Complexity just adds mistakes. In fact, Jesus did this for us when he shared the top 2 commandments. Love God and love others. The simpler the process, the less chance for error. Now, after defining your top 5 personal values, the next step is to define your top 5 business values. And these may or may not be the same because your primary objective for life, love, and joy isn't the same as the business objective of acquiring and retaining customers. Now, some of them, integrity, for example, might be on both lists, but others will be different. And lastly, you identify your top business strategic values. And when this is complete, you'll have drastically simplified your decision-making process. Anything that improves the decision-making process yields better results. Decisions are hard. Decisions are new ground, new territory, and they literally require extra energy. Thinking is hard, but it's the most valuable activity, and it governs all the results, but it's still hard. All right, and here's how values, your business values, work for your team. and how they can positively affect all of your stakeholders. So I always tell a story about cows. I like cows. And imagine a farmer who's raising cows in a meadow. Cows are grazing in the meadow, and there's a stream that's sort of bisecting the meadow. And in order for the cows to get from one side of the stream to the other side of the stream, the farmer builds a bridge. And now the cows can graze on one side. When they're done over there, they can go over the bridge to the other side. And what's interesting in this model is that, and the cows will do this because they want the grass on the other side, but because it's a bridge and the stream and falling off the edges is dangerous, cows will recognize this, they will walk right down the middle of the bridge. And they'll do it single file because that's the safest place to be, right down the bridge, right down the center to get to the other side. Now, if you were to put guardrails up on both sides of that bridge, then the cows, recognizing that it's a much safer situation, will cross that bridge sometimes in twos and threes, and they don't have to go, and they'll wander all over the place because we've built safety. Now, what's really interesting here is that these values represent safety for your team. You want them to make good decisions. You want them to be innovative. You want them to create great solutions, but you also need to give them some guidelines. And these values are those guidelines. And in this particular case, as long as they're living within those guidelines, they may or may not be right. The decision may or may not be the best because we can't predict the future. But as long as they're living within those guidelines, they're making those decisions for the right reasons. And this improves the performance of your team almost immediately. So now, if you'd like a copy of the values list that we used, leave a comment below or send me an email and I'll get the list out to you right away. When you make the right moves in chess, you win the game. When you make the right moves in business, winning gets a lot easier. Simplifying decisions by adding value clarity is the right move for your business. Cheers to your success.